Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the smile on my face.
Yes, money's a key motivator, and money is important. Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Smith, VP of Sales and Marketing at iProv. Today, I am watching a clip from a movie I've actually never seen, which is Boiler Room. So it's one of the more famous clips from the movie where they are in the room and Ben Affleck is talking to a number of recruits. So I want to step through this specifically to talk about what our concepts are whenever we're looking to hire or interviewing salespeople. So hopefully a couple tidbits, hopefully a little bit of fun. Lots of bleeps, maybe a couple slurs. We're not real sure. All right, let's hop into it.
Sorry, man. It's my seat. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Dumbass.
Get the out of here.
What?
Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Just pick your ass up out of that Italian leather chair and get the out of this room right now. Come on, let's go, Schleprock. Out. We expect everyone here to treat their coworkers with a certain level of respect. Okay, before we get started, I have one question. Has anyone here passed the Series 7 exam?
I have a Series 7 license.
Good for you. You can get out too.
What? Why?
We don't hire brokers here. We train new ones. That's it, Skippy. Pack your... Let's go.
All right, they took this a little bit to the extreme, but I do agree with the concept, right? I get questions all the time of, hey, I'm hiring a salesperson. Do I need to find an expert in my industry, or should I just look for somebody with sales experience? I would say if it's a matter of one of the two, I would more tend towards somebody with sales experience. I'm a big believer that you can't teach somebody sales that just doesn't have that trait in them, right? Or at least not as easily as you can teach somebody the ins and outs of your business and your industry. So if you've got a couple candidates, one's an expert in your industry but never has really done sales or not really doing good at some of the things we've talked about before, like role plays and those interview tips that are in that previous video, or somebody that's done sales but not necessarily for your industry, I would tend towards the person that's got some sales experience or that even has those traits in them but hasn't done that before. Again, it's a lot easier to teach somebody specifics about your product, service, your offering than it is to teach somebody sales techniques, or at least somebody that doesn't have kind of those sales traits in them, right? Being overly curious, being really specific about what they want out of each interaction, you know, reframing, refocusing, those type of things that are important in sales. So it's kind of that mentality of, do you teach old dog new tricks? Well, you got to kind of decide for yourself, but I tend to look towards people that are more sales-minded as opposed to more kind of, that have more specific industry knowledge.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm not here to waste your time, okay? And I certainly hope you're not here to waste mine. So I'm going to keep this short. Become an employee of this firm, you will make your first $1 million within 3 years.
Important thing, if you're interviewing salespeople, right, they should be less concerned about what they're going to make next week and more of kind of what the long term is. And I know that's tough sometimes, but that's the way we always talk, is earning potential, right? Earning potential, not just what you're going to earn on your very first paycheck.
Okay, I'm going to repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of your first day of employment at JT Marlin. There is no question as to whether or not you'll become a millionaire working here. The only question is how many times over. You think I'm joking? I am not joking. I am a millionaire. It's a weird thing to hear, right? I tell you, it's a weird thing to say. I am a millionaire. I guess how old I am. 27. You know what that makes me here? A senior citizen. This firm is entirely comprised of people your age, not mine. Lucky for me, I happen to be very good at my job, or I'd be out of one. You guys are the new blood. You're going to go home with the Kesef. You are the future big swinging dicks of this firm. Now, y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the smile on my face.
Yes, money's a key motivator and money is important, but especially in sales, especially depending on how long your sales cycle is, you know, they have to be passionate and they have to believe in your product or your service. If they're just in it for the money and that's it, it might work out for a little bit, but it's not going to work out long term.
Ear to ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required. You are required to work your ass off at this firm. We want winners here, not pikers. A piker walks at the bell. Piker asks how much vacation time you get in the first year. Vacation time. People come and work at this firm for one reason, to become filthy rich. That's it. We're not here to make friends. We're not saving the manatees here, guys. You want vacation time? Go teach third grade public school. Okay. First 3 months at the firm are as a trainee. You make $150 a week. After you're done training, you take the Series 7. You pass that, you become a junior broker, and you're opening accounts for your team leader. You open 40 accounts, you start working for yourself. Sky's the limit.
That's a great concept. You know, the money thing's a little bit tough. I get it. But if you're talking to an individual or somebody that doesn't have a sales experience, you know, it could be really beneficial to start them out slow instead of kind of being responsible for everything, right? So starting them out in a role like a sales development rep, right? Or a sales admin, whatever you want to call it, where they're assisting you or a senior salesperson on things like attending meetings and notes and helping you schedule the follow-ups and, you know, maintaining the CRM, the customer relationship management tool. That is a good way to slow roll somebody into the position of sales if they haven't done that role before. It's also a good introduction for them to see if it's something that they like, right? We've talked before about sales being this dirty word and how it shouldn't be. Well, there are some people that want to do that or think they want that career until they get into it and they realize what a grind it is. The concept of starting them off as, you know, helping out and being kind of this sales assistant and admin and slowly moving them up to where they're responsible for bringing in new income on a regular basis is a really great way to start to slow roll those sales concepts into somebody that maybe hasn't done it before.
A word or two about being a trainee. Friends, your parents, the other brokers, whoever, they're going to get about it. It's true. $150 a week, not a lot of money, but pay them no mind. You need to learn this business, and this is the time to do it. Once you pass the test, none of that's going to matter. Your friends are They tell me you made 25 grand last month, they're not going to believe you. F them. Parents don't like the life you lead? Mom and Dad.
I love you, Mom and Dad.
See how it feels when you're making their fucking Lexus payments. Now go home and think about it.
You know, that is another theme with these sales type of videos. Hey, do what I say, you're going to be rich. If anybody complains to you about what you're doing or what they think you're doing, well, f them, you know? So that's interesting. Big believers from a sales perspective, you make what you earn and you earn what you make. Doesn't mean that you should not pay a sales representative a living wage for a base, right? That's unfair to them, and more often than not, it puts more pressure on them to maybe push certain sales that aren't good to push, or it puts just undue pressure on them, or unrealistic expectations. So yes, make sure that most of their income or possible income is going to come from commissions, right? Make sure that they make what they earn and earn what they make, but don't pay them such an unsustainable base that there's undue pressure on both the organization and them to succeed quicker than you know is possible.
Think about whether or not this is really for you. If you decide it isn't, listen, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not for everyone. Thanks. But if you really want this, you call me on Monday, and we'll talk. Just don't waste my time. Okay, that's it.
Another good concept, right? Probably a little bit bluer than I would pass along. If somebody that you're interviewing for a sales position isn't going to chase you down and isn't going to attempt to sell you on them, then don't even bother with them. So I love this concept of you reach out to me. You're responsible for the next step. You think about it and tell me what you want to do. We do that quite often whenever we're looking for new salespeople, which is first interview, okay, I'm going to leave it in your plate to reach out to me whenever you think it's appropriate. And it'll tell you a lot. If they're not going to sell themselves in order to get a job, how likely do you think they are to sell your company 3 months down the road whenever they're kind of out on their own? All right, everybody, that's Boiler Room. Fun clip, and these are always fun for me, but there are a couple takeaways that I think are really important. One, group interviews are never really a bad idea. I like them in theory, but just be careful and mindful that there's always going to be a couple big personalities that stand out in those things, and that those typically, I don't want to say typically, but they're not always the best salesperson. Just because you have a big personality doesn't mean you're going to be the most successful. So tread carefully with group interviews. In my opinion, and I think if you talk to most people who have managed salespeople, look for whether they're sales experienced or they've got those kind of sales traits that you're looking for as opposed to industry experts. You know, it's the same way we talk about core values. It's really hard to instill a belief system in somebody. It's a lot easier to teach them, what the benefits of product or service X, Y, and Z is going to be. So in my opinion, if it's between an industry expert and somebody that's got that kind of sales trait in them, I always pick the sales trait person because I can teach them everything I need to teach them about the industry. Another thing that's a great tip out of this, set up a structure to where somebody can be successful, especially if they haven't been in sales before. Don't put them right into a sales development role, right? Give them an inside sales job, a sales development rep, a sales admin, something to where they can start to see what that sales process looks like without having the pressure of being thrown to the wolves with a couple hours of training and having to do something they've never done before. I highly believe that sales is it's a specific trait that you just can't teach everybody, but it's also a muscle. And if you don't have kind of that muscle built, you gotta build it. And the best way to do that is to start somebody off slow as opposed to just throwing them in the deep end of the pool. Another good tip is give them a base. I'm not saying $150 a week. Make it a livable wage. Make sure that they've got the capability to make what they earn and earn what they make, right? Don't cap commission. If they bring it in, give them a piece of that pie, whatever that piece is that you decide. But I do like this concept of giving somebody a base, but then making sure that they're compensated on exactly what they bring in, And if you're in front of the right type of salesperson, they're going to be excited about that, right? The way that we all think are potential income, not exactly what is going to be on my very next paycheck. All right, if you want to see more of these, right, comment on a scene that you'd like to see. Share this with a friend. I hope these were helpful. I hope this is a little bit entertaining. I like these a lot. Hopefully we didn't use any slurs. I should just stop saying that completely, I think. But like, subscribe, comment, and until next time, peace, peeps.